So just a friendly reminder, you're being recorded. And that includes the chat as well. So anything that is put in the chat is also documented somewhere. So let's quickly do a roll call if we could. I guess you could just say your name so that Sunita can document that you're here. So I will start. Sophie McDuffey here.
Sunita here.
John Ratliff here.
Suzan Turley here.
Carley Adams here.
Neo Jane here.
All right,
I think that's our board.
Yeah, same for everyone else. If you could just, that is the board. As far as the visitors today, you could just let us know you're here really quick, just for fun.
Beth Gilbert here.
Zulak here.
Ramona Crocker here.
Awesome. That was fun. See? Well, welcome to all of you that are visitors, and nice to see you guys that are board members. So I guess the first thing we can talk about is visitor comments. So Beth, did you want to start with anything you'd like to update or comment on? This is your moment.
Is this my 15 minutes?
No, not quite.
Okay, then I don't have any comments.
Okay. Ramona, did you have any comments or anything like that?
I had no comments prior.
And then Paul, did you have anything you wanted to add? No. Okay. Then we'll just keep going. So has everyone been able to review the minutes? We can't vote on it, of course, but just friendly reminder, has everyone been able to review the July minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do the voting, I guess, next month. Next, Beth, I guess we just kind of fly through this. This is your time now. So Beth is actually from the library. So she has a quick presentation for us, like about 10, 15 minutes. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I just came to talk. So it's nice to be back. I think the last time I was here was at the beginning of the pandemic. And so we've definitely gone through some changes that I'd love to update you on about the library. So Beaverton City Library, we have two locations, which is the main branch in downtown Beaverton, and we also have Murray Shoals. And we have expanded our hours and our services. So last time I spoke, we were doing pretty much everything virtually, or we had a few outdoor things available, but now people are welcome to come into our buildings. They can browse, they can check out books, they can use our computers, printing, scanning, faxing, copies, that's all available. And right now the printing and copying is free. So that's been a wonderful thing that we've been able to provide. The restrictions are simple. You just have to wear a mask when you're indoors. So that's where we're at in terms of our COVID precautions at this point. Let's see, you can find a lot of this stuff on our Beaverton City Library website. And so I'll just talk about some things that we have to offer that you might be interested in, starting with some materials and technology. So specifically for older adults, we have a large print book collection. And we also offer audiobooks on CD or something called playaways, which are nice. It's a device that has the book on it and all you need is earphones. So you could use that on a walk and not have to worry about carrying a Walkman or CD player. We have an adaptive computer station. So it has some software on it that enlarges the font and a large font keyboard. So that's good to know that that's available. And then some other things of interest are a physical item is our Library of Things. The Library of Things is really special. It's actual objects that you can check out from the library. So board games, cooking utensils and materials like Instant Pots, just various devices that you might be interested that maybe you want to try out or that, but you don't want to necessarily have to buy. or maybe you want to try out before you buy. So it's really simple to search in our catalog. You go to our library catalog, type in library of things as the keyword, and you can see everything that we have, and that collection keeps growing and growing. So I did want to mention that. Oh, musical instruments. Yeah, just all kinds of things. Does anyone have any questions about the library of things or any of the other things I mentioned?
Beth, could you, I was taking some notes, the adaptive workstation you mentioned, and you said the fonts are enlarged on the screen.
Right.
The
yeah,
idea for the visually impaired or
exactly. Yeah.
okay. And so otherwise that would be the adaptation, the larger fonts, is that?
Yeah, the larger font and the large print keyboard. It's
Large print
bigger,
keyboard,
yeah,
okay.
easier, bigger keys and bigger text on the keys.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, Paul?
I imagine that it probably also has an adaptation for reading things. Most computers do have those adaptations, and so instead of being able to see that it will read with you and read whatever the email or
Yeah, exactly. We also provide earbuds for free. They're not the most comfortable, but if you need to listen to something on the computer, we do have earbuds for you if you don't have your own. So I want to mention that. Let's see. I want to say one of the things, yeah, about computers.
most other computers also have adaptations. So say, for example, if one has a trimmer that will accommodate for potentially multiple pushing keys, there's the number of adaptations built into Windows and Mac and Apple products is huge. It's people hardly scratch the surface of them. So
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And that's something that we can help with. We have Windows, they're all Windows PCs. And, you know, library staff are available to help get into some of that, to turn on some of those. Accessibility is what they like, accessibility options is what they call them. So yeah, we're happy to help with that. Or if you bring in your own device, like a smartphone or a tablet or a laptop, and you need some help, that's something we can help with. But I will say it's not that we can't help with hardware. We can't diagnose problems like that, but just using your items, setting them up, accessing our online resources from your device. There's also wireless printing that you can do. So you can send a print job from your home computer or your handheld device to our printers and print that way. You still would have to come in and pick them up. But all those options are available. And
How are you sanitizing like earbuds and things like that?
well, earbuds are wrapped in plastic, so they're brand new, and then we just give them away and you don't have to give them back. As far as sanitizing physical touch surfaces, you know, we have our janitorial service that does that, but we also have wipes and stuff. So at this point, it's, you know, we used to be pretty diligent in cleaning everything, but now it's really the responsibility of patrons to wipe things down and clean and wash their hands as they deem necessary, you know.
Great. Well, thank you, Beth. I appreciate
Hold
it.
on.
Oh, did you have one thing, John?
Yeah,
just really
I
quick?
got a CERT support email from Barbara Barrett, Beaverton CERT, saying that the library is going to be a cooling center tomorrow through Saturday.
Yes, that's true. And we're going to be open 2 hours after close. Oh no, even more. I think up to 4. I think we're closing at 10. When normally we'd be closing at 6. So yes, so we are having that, and that's staffed by the CERT volunteers. So that's another great service that the library does. And if you're not aware, I always like to mention the materials that you can access from home. We have the ebooks that you can download. We have Canopy, which is a movie streaming that you can access. If you or you know someone who is unable to visit a library, the Washington County offers library mail service. It is an application that you have to fill out, but basically they'll send you items in the mail. And then the State Library of Oregon offers free talking books library for Oregonians with print disabilities as well. That's also something that requires an application. So I want to mention that we have lots and lots of programs, even though, yeah.
Can you please send that library mail service information in an email?
Yeah,
that
I
can
have
forward it?
I have a Word document with all the links, so I can
Okay.
send that to Carly and to distribute.
Perfect.
Yeah, all these things I'm talking about, I have on a sheet. It's kind of hard to pass it out to you. I wish I could.
Yeah.
But yeah, all this information is on a Word doc that I'll make sure that you guys get. And I want to say we still have lots of programs going on, even though we shut down in the pandemic, we kept going virtually. We've started to schedule in person again. So that can all be found on our website, on the event calendar, but I'll send a link. I'll provide the link to that as well. So we have a lot going on that maybe you aren't sure if it's been returned since our closure or that you are new to use. So wanted to let you know.
That's great.
All right, awesome. If there's anything else that you guys would like to mention, you can always pop it in the comments in the chat, and we can pass that to Beth. But otherwise, thank you so much, Beth. Great presentation. It's so great to see the library open again. And
yes, we're open.
Seems like you have some.
Sorry, I had to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure I said the hours. So Maine is open 7 days a week, and Murray Shoals is open 5 days a week. They're closed on Mondays and Thursdays. So we're not quite back to pre-pandemic hours, but we're getting there.
Yay.
And that's okay. I'll stop now.
No, we're actually running a little ahead schedule, so it's okay. But I did want to wrap up so we have some time for other items.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Well, subcommittees, do we have, so I know like I have some notes to share from one subcommittee. Do we have anyone else who would be willing to talk about the other subcommittee? It's the Education and Speakers Forum. Do we have anyone else who would like to start that off?
I can talk about what we talked about last time. We were, I thought, shouldn't we just go into our subcommittee group talk and then bring it back, that information? Or did you, because I can talk about what we did during the week. Yeah.
So this portion of the agenda is just to review really quick the subcommittees. We will go into the actual breaking up later, just not quite yet, Sunita. So if you're able to share, that would be fantastic. And then I'll share after you.
Yes, I can share what we did. Last time, everybody in our group decided that we will research on 2 nonprofit organizations and organizations that our group would be interested in, bring back information about those organizations and maybe a contact person, and then let the big group decide if we want to have someone from that organization come and give a talk to our group, the whole group. So I know that I had decided to research with AVID and Stand for Children. And I would let John and Paul talk about their organizations that they were going to research on. I have it in my agenda, in my meeting notes, but I don't remember exactly which organizations those were. John,
Okay,
do you want to?
Yeah, this is John. Mine are the Bicycle Advisory Committee and the Nature and Trails Committee for THPRD. I don't believe that the Bicycle Advisory Committee has met yet this month. And the Nature and Trails Committee is meeting quarterly, and their next quarterly meeting is not really a meeting, but they're going to go out and do a sight see of the trails and that sort of thing. So I don't have a whole lot to report on that.
Okay, so then we'll continue on.
Maybe Paul may want to talk about his organizations that he does. Paul, do you want to share that with the group?
I can share briefly, and John, the meeting, the bicycle committee doesn't meet until Thursday,
Okay.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
And haven't heard back from the two organizations. They're related. There was the Jesse F. Richardson Foundation, and basically that their mission is not unlike ours. It's to reading it from their is to improve conditions for vulnerable older adults in developing areas and communities in which they live. Resource constrained areas, which are not necessarily, provide multi-generational support. And basically it's getting people involved and allowing, people to share their skills and collaborate. And I approached them with the idea that we want to find out a little bit more about some of their activities, of which one of their activities is the other organization called Age Plus, which the idea is that communities and generations and innovations that they to promote successful and equitable aging for all Oregonians by empowering communities, linking generations, and stimulating innovation to make longer life an opportunity, not a burden, especially for those isolated and underserved adults. Desire to help promote other programs where there are collections of older folks. So,
Great. Okay. Well, that's very helpful. Thank you very much, Paul. Was there anybody else from that committee that would like to share, or can we move on to the next committee? That's it. Oh, okay. Oh, Beverly, did you have something to say?
Just on mine.
Oh,
was,
there she is.
US Federal Congressional Committee. And right now they've been involved in a whole lot of other meetings, which ended up quite good today. So that's okay. So I'm still in process of making a contact with Widener Merkley on that because and actually Bonamici too, to find out what other committees actually deal with the aging population. So mine is ongoing because I've been able to reach them. And Suzanne is actually working with ARP and Home Fit. And so she will be updating us in the meeting.
Great. Thank you, guys. So we'll move on then to celebrating senior adults, unless there's anybody else who has anything to say. Okay, so we collaborated over email, Ramona, Martha, Jamie, Alexis, and myself after the last meeting, and we came up with some pretty cool topics of discussion to think about for the board. So I've compiled all of these ideas into one document. So something that we're thinking about is nomination criteria. So of course the subcommittee cannot make a decision, but I think once the subcommittee does decide on a couple things, we'll bring it to the board to vote. Is that how it works, Carly? That's accurate.
Yeah, usually like some discussion around it and then a vote from the board. Yeah, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
That sounds
before
good.
like doing any major decisions.
That sounds good. Well, since we don't have a full board today, then I'll just give you an overview. So we're not doing any voting. So for the award, we were thinking about having an age qualification, kind of a restriction around residency in Beaverton and kind of the duration of how long that person's been a resident and how they've contributed to Beaverton. So there's some subtopics and categories and things like that as to what it looks like to contribute to Beaverton, but those were kind of the main three pieces. The next thing we kind of emailed about and talked about was the award categories. So the question was, should we have 1 award, 2 awards? Of course, that'll be voted on by the board, but some pretty great topics just to get you thinking. The Ageless Award, kind of interesting. Age Well, Live Well Award, Inspire Positive Aging, Community Advocate for Aging, Exceptional Service Award, and then just a service award, a Marathon Award, a Veteran Distinction Award, a Community Partner Award, a Pioneer Award, and a Leadership Award. So all of those awesome topics. The next thing we talked about was recruitment for the awards. So we talked about finding a way to communicate or connect with other adults in the community, the board telling friends, email distribution list. And then we talked about the actual award winner and how we're going to celebrate them, honor nominations as well. So we were talking about like anyone who was nominated, we could honor them as well. By a plaque, a framed certificate, and maybe dedicating a spot in the mayor's office for the winner. Then there were a couple just interview questions that were popped up, and so that we could kind of discuss how someone would qualify for the award. So that's the basics. Looks like Carly had to step away.
But Sophie, since I was gone for the last meeting, I was wondering, could you like send me those emails and maybe could I provide like some of my input on some of that stuff? Because I was kind of working with you guys. I just wasn't able to make the last meeting.
Oh, sure. Yeah, if you'd like to put your input in, that would be great. And I haven't sent this document out to the group, but I've just kind of compiled it and put everything on one item. Do you want to just put your, actually, I think I have your email address. I think I can grab that. So that way you're not putting it on a public spot.
Oh, sure.
Sophie, just FYI, we do have quorum now, if you want any decisions. Because we have Beverly, so we have 5 people now out of 9. So just out there.
Okay, great. Well, we don't have anything at this very second to vote on. I think the board does, or the subcommittee does still need to discuss these topics, because really what we decided to do is to compile everything into one document. So these are everyone's ideas from the subcommittee, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is your turn, Carly. So perfect timing. And because our city councilman is actually, she's not coming today. Carly's actually prepared a few things to say on her behalf.
Sure. Thanks, Sophie. Great. So let me pull up here a couple of messages here. I'll share. Councilor Tivnan said that she just wanted to mention to everybody that the first in-person council meeting is going to be on Tuesday, the 24th. And they're going to be discussing policing in Beaverton and the ARPA relief package as well. And let's see. And then it's going to be the new city manager's first council meeting. So those are the things that she wanted to mention that are coming up here on the next meeting. And then I have some updates here from our staff liaisons. Let's see here, a couple of the updates. The first one, and I have an update to the update because we just got an announcement. The first one is about the night market. And the night market has been scheduled for Friday and Saturday this weekend from 4 to 10 p.m. It's on First Street and Tucker Avenue. And there are street closures, family-friendly events with vendors and performers and food areas. And it's free and open to community members. Unfortunately, because of the heat, they had to cancel Friday. So it's the night market's going to be on Saturday, not on Friday. So the update was about the whole event, but unfortunately they're canceling the first day of it because it's going to be so hot. But Saturday is still on. And so let's see what else here. And then I'll send this link out if you want to get updates on city events. You can sign up and get on the notify me list to get updates about city events. The second note here is around emergency preparedness and there's a link here for the Oregon Alert. It's the state's new emergency alert system that's being implemented. And you can sign up and get alerts by text or the website or the mobile app. And so I'll give you those in an email so that you don't have to have that right now, but just so you know that you have that option. And there's a couple more links there from the city and the county on signing up and staying informed related to emergencies. So those were the updates from the mayor's office. Like I said, the new city manager is starting here shortly. So it's going to be some changes around the city on that side of things. I'm happy to keep you all updated. If there's questions that come up, I can take them back and bring them back to you. But that's what I have. Any questions about that?
Is the first in-person council meeting on the 24th open to the public?
That's a very good question, but I don't know the answer to. I will get back to you on that.
Okay.
Ramona. I don't actually know. I'll check and see if I can find the answer before the end of the meeting.
I've got a question. Multnomah County just is imposing mask requirements for everybody indoors. And I'm wondering where City of Beaverton sits with that in Washington County.
I don't know where Washington County is as far as a countywide mandate. I haven't seen anything saying what the update will be if there's going to be a countywide mandate. So I don't have any insider information. I just have my own personal guess on that. But the City of Beaverton is masks are required for all city buildings now, again, and Washington County buildings as well. So the buildings themselves and the properties for the City of Beaverton, I think most jurisdictions are actually doing the same thing, as well as Washington County. I know masks are now again required in indoor spaces, but I don't know about if the mandate will follow Multnomah counties or not.
Okay.
And John,
usually it often does, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I have a question, not related to what you said, but I was talking to the Washington County Commissioner Chair, Catherine Harrington, and she suggested that if we wanted her to come and give a talk on what the county does for seniors and their services, she would be willing to come and give a talk to our group. Would this be something that our group would be interested in?
I'll let the group
I
answer
would
that
be.
question. I mean, I'm interested, but I want it's for what the group.
Yeah, exactly. What does everybody
what
else
you all
want?
think?
This is John. I think so.
Okay, I can talk to her and see if she can come on one of our meetings and maybe give us a. What about you, Sophie? What do you think?
Yeah, would be interesting.
Okay, all right. So if everybody, Beverly, is that okay?
Yes, absolutely.
All right then. I will get contact with her and try to set up something for one of our meetings then.
Sounds good. And John, just to circle back to your question about the masks, I can tell you for Washington County, for senior living communities, long-term living, we are required to wear face shields as well as masks when we're in and around resident spaces. So, yes.
In addition to the masks. Wow.
Yes. So the masks only cover your mouth. Your eyes are still exposed. So when droplet precautions happen, the droplets are still in the air. It still can affect your eyes. So that's the thought behind that. So even though you're wearing a mask, even if someone isn't wearing a mask and they sneeze, you can still get sick.
Yeah, in the schools, they have mask mandate, but if somebody has problem, then they allow them to wear the shield. But I didn't think that it was both of them. I think for the school students, it's just the shield. If they cannot wear the mask for some health reasons, then the shields are there.
Well, the masks tightly cover the mouth. The shields don't tightly cover the mouth.
Yeah.
It looks like Beverly had something to say.
Yeah.
I have a question. You were talking about that they wear the shields plus a mask. Is there a requirement of what level of mask? Is it an N95? or is it one of the others? And is that a county for all long-term or congregate care facilities?
From what I know, it's just Washington County. I think
But
we're in the severe to moderate numbers right now.
Right, and, okay, but it's for the congregate care facilities. So it's your long-term, your nursing homes, your assisted living and group homes. Okay,
Yeah, so we're all kind of regulated a little bit differently, but for my community, we're an RCF. We are long-term care, licensed care facility, basically. So we are required. But skilled nursing is actually has different delineation. I think that they've had to wear face shields this whole time without
Okay.
stopping.
was that in a memo that went out from the county, or was that just on the website?
You can check the CDC website. They have all the updates. But I believe it came through, we got something through DHS, and that's how
Okay,
that's our licensing. So
Right,
that's how we get it.
right, okay, thanks.
Yeah, just for everybody's knowledge, the face shield doesn't replace the mask. The
Right,
mask is necessary and the face shield.
Yes. All right. Well, if we can move on, any other comments about that? Any questions for Carley on what she was reporting? Okay. So Carley, do we want to break up into our subcommittee groups?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And it occurs to me that I'm a little bit slow on that. So do you want to do the minutes right now? Since we have a quorum, do you want to do that? And I'll do the breakout. Just give me one moment to do that.
Sure. Yeah. Are we just voting on the minutes? Is that what you'd like to do? Okay.
Yeah.
So
that way,
yeah. Okay. So if everyone has been able to review the minutes, were there any changes that we should be aware of? And this, of course, just applies to the board members. Okay. Anyone would like to motion to approve the minutes? I guess we don't
I'll move.
necessarily have. All right, Suzanne approved
second,
and Beverly seconds for the notes for the minutes. And I forgot to mention, but we actually adjourned a few minutes after 3. Did you get that, Sunita, for your minutes?
3:07, we started the meeting, you mean? Yeah.
Yes.
I did.
Okay, you got that. Okay. Perfect.
Perfect. And I'm ready. So you all can, I
Okay.
can divide you up into the 2 breakout rooms. I think that the room on the Celebrating Older Adults just has the 3 today.
Yeah.
Just the 3 folks. Is that right?
By the way, I do approve the minutes.
I think everybody has to say, so we approve, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great job.
We approve.
Took me a minute because I had to bring them back up, look at them.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let you all continue your conversations in your breakout rooms, and then we'll come back together and kind of debrief as a whole group afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and open up those rooms. Thanks, everybody. Welcome back. Sophie, I'll pass it to you.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. So were those good meetings? Thumbs up? Good? Yeah, yay. So I think if we just have one representative from our Education Speakers Forum, if you guys want to kick it off, give the board an update, anything you need us to vote on, this would be a great time to do that. But we're curious what's brewing for you guys. Beverly, would you like to speak? You are on mute.
we had a good meeting. What we did was update each other within the committee on the information from our previous subcommittee. And so each one went through the committees they have selected as their contacts and whether they've made a contact or in process, and then gave a little bit of information on those committees. We shared that information. Each member will be putting together a very short the description of each of the committees they are going to be in contact with, identifying the program, and then the purpose of that program, what age group they serve, and if they are a profit or nonprofit. And we'll be putting that information together soon. And Carly, I hope to be able to send that to you, that you could actually include it in the minutes so that people can have a little more information on the groups we are establishing a contact with. So we had some good information on the groups that we will be working with, maintaining a contact with, and then moving forward, our plan is to identify the contact person and the group, and coming up with some recommendations for presentations to the full BCOA committee. And we figured that we might be able to have enough presenters to take care of the whole year. I don't
That's
know
right.
if that's true, but it's a possibility.
If I may, Bev, one of the things that you said about the notes, I reminded me, and I meant to say it, that it might be handy if we kind of, if there's a commitment from each of the subcommittees to write up those minutes that you have from each time you have a subcommittee meeting, and then we can just add them to the regular minutes, like at the bottom, so that it's kind of organized that way. So Sunita and I can coordinate that, or we could have you all sending, actually, since Sunita's doing the minutes, perhaps the subcommittees just send them directly to her and say, this is the August subcommittee meeting minutes, and then they can just get included. That makes probably more sense.
Okay, that works.
That
works.
Yeah.
Carly, your video is off.
Oh, I don't know. It's showing that I'm on, so I'm not sure why, but I'm here.
Okay.
Oh.
Maybe your camera is hidden somehow.
So just moving on really quick, is there anything that you need from the board, Beverly? Or are you just kind of doing a report?
Just doing a report. At this time, we have nothing that the board would be requested to take action on.
Got it. Okay. So I'll give a quick update, and then Ramona, Neil, if you guys want to fill in, feel free. So we didn't have necessarily enough of our subcommittee present to feel like we could adequately make some good decisions. So we are deciding to do another subcommittee to include those other members. If at that meeting they also aren't able to come, we're going to just make some decisions and then bring it to the board for final, I guess, voting. But some things that we're kind of toggling back and forth is really that October, we have a planned event. And the idea was to nominate and have ready someone for our award. So we have some details that the subcommittee came up with that I reviewed earlier in regard to the award. But again, we need some more people to have that discussion. So if we can have one more subcommittee meeting, then we'll have more finalizations to share with you guys. Anything you wanted to add, Ramona or Neil, really quickly?
No, I think that was it. Yeah, I think we're just planning on meeting and just discussing what we want to do for that October 1st day and the kind of awards we want to think about.
Sounds good. Yeah, thanks, Neil. A quick comment, Ramona, if you had one.
Well, we had concluded that given the time constraints and the constraints of the quarantine, this fourth wave or fifth wave, whatever it is, that it was unrealistic to have very many categories of different awards and all the time and effort that would require. So we've concluded that we need to keep our efforts for this October simple as possible.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I guess, does anyone else have anything for the order of the group before we call the meeting?
Well, if I can share my screen, I'd like to show you a couple of graphs on COVID right now. Is that okay?
I think, John, if you want to put any sort of, additional information about that in the chat, that might be helpful. I know Beverly also had her hand up. So Bev, if you want to go ahead and say something quickly, that would be great.
Oh, I just wanted to ask Carley. Carley, will you find out if the public can attend the council meeting?
Yeah, I will. I sent that question out to several of the managers and I have not heard. I was hoping one of them was going to respond quickly before this meeting ended, but I'll shoot you all an email letting you know.
Carley, if I could jump in on that as a former council member, not in Beaverton, but as a former city councilor, all city council meetings are required in Oregon by law to be open to the public.
Yeah. It's just a question of whether or not that's a virtual participation or in-person participation.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if the meeting is held, it has to be available to the public, not necessarily for input, but they must be allowed unless it's a work session to attend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know that that's absolutely true. So it's just that it's been all virtual participation. So I'm not sure if they are keeping the public comments and like how people might do comments if they are allowed to go in person or if they are allowed to go, that's the question I think that's outstanding here, if that makes sense. So how people can participate. And I'll find that out and get that back to you. And John, I'm just going to suggest that maybe after this meeting, if anybody wants, is kind of just, since it's a little bit of a separate topic, if maybe folks want to stay on, then they can do it after we close the meeting, if there's some interest in kind of seeing some more details about the COVID stuff.
Okay.
And just hang tight. And then that way, I'm not sure if folks are going to be able to or not, but we'll wrap up the meeting first and then you can see.
That's great. All right, well, unless there's anything else for the Beaverton Committee on Aging, we're going to call the meeting at 4:16 adjourned. And we will finish our recording.